doesn't have money to pay somebody.
So the main thing that I would need would be, because I'll be handling, between the grants, you know, paying the bills, doing all of that kind of stuff. What I need is somebody, local that knows and can, when I say, hey, we need to go do a site visit, that they're able to, you know, if I have Army Corps here from Helena, then, or from Bozeman, NRCS, I need for somebody to be available to, you know, have the permission to go out there, you know, kind of just, so
And
it
that's
was,
networking.
And that's kind of what I've been doing, is
Yeah.
I've been out with you guys several times,
yep,
and I've always made the time to do so.
yep, so I need some contact and
Continue to contact me, and we'll put us a notice up and see if we can't get somebody that's willing to volunteer their talents to the town to do that.
so.
Because there's gonna be probably a little bit more than just some of that. But
So typically, it's a little bit easier, either, you know, I'm dealing with a ditch president, or I'm dealing with a landowner, where, you know, it's only one person versus
one person
a whole
versus
town.
a whole bunch of people. I agree.
So,
I agree.
So-
Do you have anything else?
oh, I was just gonna say, but in the meantime, you know, we're gonna continue, I'd like to be able to get some super sacks or something similar to help protect the wells, until we can get a permanent fix on those, but in case we have an early runoff, you know, to be
Yeah, and I've asked
prepared.
Jay, our maintenance guy, to look into that, to try to get some, or figure out where we can get them, or get them coming.
Is that, with
Are you-
what's going on in California, is that gonna affect the availability of stuff like that, you suppose?
No, we've had a few emergencies in Stillwater County, and we had a flood on Christmas Day, Christmas Eve and Christmas
Oh, fish
Day.
tail,
Yep, so we have had to put into play a few houses that were in jeopardy. One is because they're in EWP, and if they would have gotten damaged or disappeared downstream, then they would fall out of our program, because there has to be something there to protect.
Oh, that's
So that was
concern.
one of the biggest reasons why I was, you know, to make sure and protect what we still have until we can get permanent help. So I do have contractors in Stillwater County who have bought extras to be prepared, and I have everybody kind of on notice that, okay, it's gonna come. You know, hopefully we don't need it, but I'd rather be prepared. And so he has the stuff in his shop and ready to go. But there's quite a bit of contractors locally that are gonna prepare for the worst and be ready after seeing what they saw last year.
What did they have in the shop? What is it?
They ordered a large amount of the super sacks.
Oh, the
They're
sacks.
4x4, yep, that they fill up to, and they're like overgrown sandbags, pretty much.
Oh, okay, because I live right on the river, and it did come over our bank and just rolled right in. We didn't have anything in place. Would that be something that we could get and put in place as precautionary, or are you gonna wait until the water comes over?
You know, I'm not quite sure.
Okay,
So
I'm
we're
just
we're-
curious, I wanna know what
I know you
the,
can contact any of the local contractors and let them know if you're wanting something, to
When?
help protect.
you mean, see, at the time of the flood, you're not gonna get a hold of anybody.
No,
You know, it's done,
yeah,
and so we just watch the water come in.
yeah, so I mean, and anything that you're doing above the high water, you don't need permits. If you are going down into the water or the original ordinary high water, then you would need permits. And most of these contractors locally know that. So it's, being in communications with them and letting them know that, you know, you have a concern, you know. Most of them would probably come out and see your place
And
and
that's
give you some
because
ideas, so.
there,
Good.
you should also point out that that's the reason they don't have to, because if there, is because there's not a map floodplain here
Yeah.
yet.
Yes,
Yet, so once there's a map floodplain, maybe not just set temporary sacks in there,
But making sure that all
yeah.
the agencies know, so when I did
Yes.
the emergencies, I notified each agency, and let them explain, showed them before pictures, after pictures, and then wrote up, the emergency, now I forgot what it's called, pre-filing notice, kind of, to let them know what we were doing.
That's what I was kinda curious about is when do we get those sacks filled up with sand and on our bank? Do we wait until the water's right up to the top?
I wouldn't, I mean, it
Yeah,
really depends on you.
I've already had people calling and asking for sandbags so that they can get them filled up and placed by their house, so that in case something does happen, they have them there.
Yep.
And, one thing that, as a town, we have to be conscious of is what we do and how it affects other people. And I was discussing today of maybe blocking some of the river off here close to town. But then if that damages somebody's house because it backs up the water into there, then it makes the town liable.
Yeah, because each agency
So we have to
is,
be careful of what the cause and effects are.
each agency has a different role in what we do. For the conservation district, we look at, is your project gonna cause harm upstream or downstream? Floodplain looks at, okay, are you gonna cause damage to the floodplain and cause damage outside of the water? FWP looks at, fish and, longevity of the streams. And then you got Army Corps. So, I mean, we're all looking at different things, but we also kind of commingle a little bit to make sure that everything gets covered between the 4 permits that most people need.
And we don't need one to get our banks secured.
Well, you won't need one through the conservation district if you stay above the high water. So like if you're going back a ways and, or doing anything around your house, but, you would have to check with floodplain to make sure that they don't need anything.
Floodplain is a different entity.
Yes.
Yes.
There's 4 different permits, 4
That
different
doesn't have
agencies.
an actual line where the floodplain is what she just told you. They have no idea where the floodplain is. So
Yeah,
that's just one entity that you're gonna go through, that's not even there. They don't have an answer for you.
it got changed
Yeah,
with the flood.
But it's better
I
to
understand
talk
that.
with them and have them tell you you don't need a permit versus you doing something and that you did need a permit.
Who would have that phone number?
It would be the floodplain administrator out of Red Lodge.
Yeah,
I can't think of
well,
the lady's name.
so there's, Courtney Long is the floodplain for, the city of Red Lodge. And then, Paige, I forgot her last name, she is for the county floodplain. So she's hired by the county, so you could talk to the county.
Just get hold of the
Offices.
county office in Red Lodge and try to get a hold of the floodplain.
Yep, she's the floodplain, her office is actually in Big Timber, but she covers this area.
It's a floodplain,
Plain.
planner? Or what's it?
Administrator.
Administrator. Okay. Cause it sounds like quite a deal. When you first started talking, it sounded like we could just set up sandbags on our bank. Cause we know where the river came in, okay? And now you're shifting and saying, no, because our sandbags may affect the next guy down.
She always said that if you put them next to your house, you're fine.
Right.
But if you go towards the water, you gotta have somebody's permission.
You gotta be above the
And it's still on
high,
our land.
It's anything within the,
But
the ordinary high water mark is the jurisdiction of the conservation district. The, could be possibly the floodplain, they're still figuring that out. But it is Army Corps of Engineer and it is the conservation district. So, and then you have to have a DEQ, one that you usually get through the conservation district. So there's 4 permits that you end up getting.
As long as I'm above the high water mark, I'm okay.
It's a circle.
You have to just double check with floodplain, because I don't know what floodplain area is. So it's different for the different locations.
What was the name of that dam?
Page,
Dringman, I'm trying to get her number, her phone stuff for you right now. Excuse me, contact info.
Close to the house is probably.
Guys have it back here.
yeah, so the best thing to do is print out a map and show where you wanna do it, and then get all the agencies to say, yeah, you do.
I can help with that.
Okay.
It's across the street from me.
Okay. So, yeah. That's good. And if you need help, you can also come into the Conservation District office in Joliet, and we can help as well.
Okay. Thanks a lot.
Is there any other questions for Sharon?
Out of the
I have
21
Yes.
projects, how many actually pertain to
With
Falmouth?
this flood that we had
one.
recently,
Yeah, there's one.
we
City.
had an hour before we could get out of our house. Is there going to be something that will let us know ahead of time?
Well, actually, the county has a system set up, it's called Code Red. And you get it, put it on your telephone, and it'll alert your phone. Kinda like, I don't know if you guys do get the Amber Alerts or whatever, but Josh knows, and you wanna kind of explain that a little better, Josh?
Part of it. I heard Code Red though.
Yeah.
Serena runs it, but Code Red is basically an alert system. It's a vendor that we hire through the county to get messages out real fast. The key is you have to register for it. We've been pushing it for years. It does work.
How do we register?
Well, I'll get you that real quick. But basically, you just sign up, and you gotta give your cell phone and your address, and then if you're in that area, we have the
Oh,
ability
yeah.
to go through our computer. This is the area, this is the town of
East River
Fromberg.
Street, is that the area?
Fromberg's in it. It's however, we
Yeah,
can make
yeah.
it. We draw a parameter on what needs to be. The notification goes out, it's typed in, and it's pushed out real fast. Like the mayor said, it's very similar to the
Okay.
Amber Alert.
I would like that, please.
We will get that. And
Because like I say, we had an hour, and I almost forgot whatever's.
yeah,
Yeah.
Thank God I was able to go to Cody with my daughter.
Because it's very important that everybody has their stuff set up for an emergency. You know, where to go to get your important papers and stuff out of your house.
Medication.
Medications, regardless whether it's a flood or a fire or what, and all you can do is you can grab that and go.
I have a table next to a chair that I sit at, and if I had any more medications, I got no more room.
Well, we lived in Florida, so we should be used to hurricane preparedness.
Do they now have a working monitor in Belfry? At the bridge?
They have a couple, and they
couple?
worked last year,
Yeah,
They did.
yes.
There's a
Yeah.
working monitor belt.
They worked last year?
Yep,
my
They
dad,
couldn't call our fire department here and let us know?
I'm not sure what happened there, but I asked,
But we'll
at the
make sure
meeting
that
that we
that
were at
happens.
last, when was it, 2
2
weeks
weeks
ago? If they had any failures of any monitors, and they said, no, they all worked perfectly.
And there's one in Edgar?
I don't know. I don't know about that, I
These
just
guys
know
would-
about above
yeah,
us.
Their own defense, these guys wouldn't know. I mean, DES and the commissioner
Yeah.
probably better answer that out of the town.
But there was no failures.
They just, there's one in
It
it.
just happened so fast.
It did.
It did.
It did.
You're just going by the numbers on the bridge
I
that
didn't know
I
about it
painted
till
then
you came
down
to my
here.
house and told me.
Okay.
There's a meeting Thursday night in Bridger, I don't know if anybody's aware of that, at the high school. It's 6:30 on this Thursday. They're gonna be doing, going over about permits. We'll have all the agencies there to be able to talk and explain. So,
Flood related?
yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Good.
So DES will be there,
Just glad you're not in
County Court.
California.
Yeah.
It's so sad. You know the people have spent so much money on their properties, and to see it just gone.
I know. I
Okay,
know.
where we at?
So is there any kind of plan at this point? Do we have any kind of plan, or is that what you guys are still working on a plan?
Well, we sat in a meeting a couple weeks ago for the plan. If there's gonna be any evacuation, we notify the sheriff, and the sheriff takes care of it.
Yeah, and I'm not talking about that, I'm talking about like rip wrapping and things like that, you know.
That's what we're trying to
Yeah.
get some accomplished.
The reason that I ask is because I work for Montana Railway, and I talked to some of the higher-ups about maybe donating riprap. But we have to have a plan, we have to have, we have to know what we need before we can even go any farther and request it. So we might be able to get some donation for riprap, but we have to have a plan in place before that happens, so that's what I wondered.
And that would be something that would be an in-kind, so that could help if you had
Pay
donations
our-
like that to
Our
pay your
in-kind,
portion.
because our in-kind for what we're looking at is about $100,000.
Okay,
And if we can come up with riprap, that would
Materials.
go a long
Yeah,
ways
yeah,
in
materials
helping
count.
okay, but we need to know how much we need, and then I can.
We should
Can I,
have,
can I get your contact information?
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
that would be
Yeah.
Because
great.
that would be great.
Yeah, we can, after the meeting, I'll
Yeah,
meet
yeah.
with you.
That would be great. That'd be
Yeah,
good.
pretty soon we're gonna be BNSF, and then I can take that tree also.
What?
The
Okay.
railroad has been good, having a lot of problems too.
Yeah. The railroad usually operates in certain ways. It's usually right. Okay. Any other questions for, yes?
No, but could we get anything like a code red posted on the window so we get that information?
I'm working on it right now.
It's an app,
It's just an app you.
it's an app on your
Oh,
phone, if you go to your app store and
Code
say,
Red.
type code red, you can just download it.
Give you the-
Yeah.
I did have one.
Yeah, I was gonna say, a lot of these guys probably have flip
But
phones
yes,
without apps.
we can ask
Okay.
you, I'll have Lacey get that posted on the window so you can come by and look at it and see and get
I've
that.
got-
You can do it on the
Let-
website
let me
without
ask
having to have the
I'm
app.
gonna talk to her tomorrow,
Yeah.
she said,
Let's-
You can
yeah,
find it on there.
Let's hold it down, everybody.
and I'll ask her. to get
Let's
back.
continue on here. So,
Thank
is there any other questions then for Sharon?
Thank you for coming.
Yeah,
And Tyler,
absolutely.
Tyler Drew fought for their,
Well, Tyler, appreciate you guys coming. If you guys don't have anything else, we can go ahead and.
No.
they can go ahead
Appreciate
and-
the efforts.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate all of the hard work you guys have done for us. I know it's disappointing to me and to you when we apply for stuff and we go through all of, and then it gets turned down, but
Well,
That's just
part
part of the
of,
deal.
my frustration is that we apply for some of this stuff and we may get it, but we don't have any updates. So we don't really know how the process is going. Do you guys keep in touch with, is it Tim that you guys keep in touch with?
yeah, so we have Friday meetings, between,
We have.
we
right?
have
Yeah.
Friday meetings.
Yeah,
And then I try either Friday or Mondays to give out updates based on what, if I don't have anything, then you might not hear from me, but
Yeah.
definitely if I have something more, then yes, it's a phone call or an email to give updates. I know tomorrow, Tim are gonna work on with DNRC with one of the emergency grants, cause we gotta get that one cleared up. Because they can't have two in the
Right.
queue. So we're gonna get the other one cleared up so that I can go and apply for another one to get the emergency money. So we can keep the EWP money for the construction.
right.
So that's my plan. So,
All right, thank you.
so
Okay.
we'll be in touch.
Okay,
Tomorrow?
tomorrow.
Okay.
Are you gonna be in Joliet or do I need to go to Columbus?
I'll be in Columbus. I got a few meetings, but, we can just touch base
Just
in the afternoon.
call me and let me know where I can be.
Okay. Okay, yeah, we can do it over the phone. You don't
I
need.
got a little car that gets way better gas mileage.
She says you don't have to go anywhere.
That would be
Yeah.
better.
So just call me.
I'd like to know something. What is the overall plan? What
Yeah,
do you want to do?
and you got a lot of money.
What do I want to
No,
do?
I'm saying, this whole
You
thing,
know, yeah.
what is going to happen?
What is going to happen if it
Or really
floods
big
again?
snowpack and just not get a lot of hot.
Not sure I understand the question.
No, that's-
What do you hope to see happen?
What do I hope to see happen?
So,
What I would like to have is I would like to be able to get in the river and dredge the river, deepen the channels, and move the material around. I would like to have it hard armored at Copeland's River up there, all the way down through the bridge, and have that stuff removed off from underneath the bridge and cleared away.
If that happens, do you think that it's going to flood, or it's just a maybe?
We have no idea what's gonna happen. Nobody has a crystal ball.
I don't know. You know, we had so much water last year, so fast, that we couldn't keep up with it.
Yeah.
And we built dikes to, to try to keep it, because we thought it was just gonna be a little bit. But everything we built was washed away, run over, and just.
But the people that have lived in this area for a long period of time have never seen anything like it. I mean, it was literally the perfect storm. And it's a 1 in 500 year or 1 in 1,000 year flood. So, I mean, you can't plan for that.
That's why I think this, being able to notify people, if you have an app,
Right.
maybe you could, take care of something or whatever.
Yes. And that's part of the deal. Like, when a river starts coming up, I'll keep an eye on it. Jay keeps an eye on it. And we let Serena know, who's our DES person. And when things start getting bad, then we start making, the county has a plan kind of put together on how things are supposed to go.
I would like to know something. You're the gentleman that has invested a lot of money, right?
Trying.
What are your feelings if is, what you've done so far and what you want to accomplish?
We're basically calling it Operation Don't Go Bankrupt. I'm equally as scared. I mean, it shows that, I feel we can weather the storm, but, things go sideways, they go sideways. It's shaking the dice, so to speak, and I'm hoping on the good side of things, but.
Well,
I know when I heard.
Let's stay on topic, please. We've got a lot of stuff to cover tonight.
We do have
A lot of stuff.
And there's a lot of things that we're looking at doing. If the water does come down across the park again, we're gonna take out this ditch down here, we're gonna get rid of it that way. And things like that, but we're working on it.
So on that same topic, I do actually have some information on that too. So we've got a spot on our property that roughly every 5 years that we get water to a certain spot. And Mike Bentley brought the elevation tools home to check from there and check other points. And it doesn't look like, it looked like we had a couple of feet? Like along the river near the the town water well, we probably got a couple of feet of clearance there before. So every 5 years, we still have 2 feet, 1.5 feet, something like that, above that. So, I don't know, in my opinion, we're pretty safe, but you can't obviously ice dams.
I can't sit here in front of everybody and say that we're not gonna flood, because it might.
Yeah, you can't.
But you can't say that it will either.
I can't say that it will. All we have to do is, everybody here has to be prepared. And that's kind of where, from the town's perspective, me and Jay, we look at these things, we try best ways to do it without the least amount of damage to anybody. But that's just something that we're dealing with. And, Jay's looking at, another job. So, anyway. Moving on. Any other questions for these two before they leave? Thanks again, appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Okay, next is public comment. I would like to remind everybody that during the public comment, we have a 3-minute time limit. Everybody keeps their tone down, they keep it respectful, and everybody will get a chance to say what they want to say, as long as it's respectful. And that's kind of the way it has to be. So, who would like Elton Kirkland?
Yeah, I want to read this.
Probably not, because I need transportation.
According to a 2019 ACE report, Army Corps of Engineers, when the railroad was built in Fromberg, curves in Clark's Fork River were eliminated, especially below Fromberg, causing river adjustment problems for the next 100 years. In fact, the outside curves problems right now, this report says are directly caused by that situation. You can get a copy if you want. To compensate, the railroad adds riprap river and whenever it wants without permits. Ranchers have adjusted the river with and without permits. Small homeowners are not allowed permits except with impossible stipulations. As Chad Hansen pointed out at the last meeting, ACE does not think we have a right to live in a floodplain and would rather see us removed. There are solutions to this problem caused by the railroad. Why not build a canal along the railroad tracks past the museum and out to the river? Also a canal starting at the river near 3rd Street. Also some curves north of Fromberg could be reactivated. 3 things could be done. Where will the money come from? The railroad should come up with part of it, at least, because it started with them. Okay. Build up the river, the 2 things at the top. We got the thing at the top, you guys all know about it, by the river to Magdalena's, to the bridge to the river. Okay, and also the riprap down at the end of 3rd Avenue, that's got to be done. But my main concern right now, besides those things, is we have to have a drain system. Last year it was bad, but it would have been way worse if that hadn't been breached. I want to know if the council ever went to talk to them and actually offered them help from the city, actually money, to help them to have a gate for their dam and something to help with the, in other words, a good deal. Did you actually offer them some real help? Or did you just ask them if you could put a hole through it again? I'm just saying, if we either we do that or we spend a fortune on a real drain system that used to be in effect but it wasn't big enough, which wouldn't work as well anyway and would probably cost a lot more money. We've got to have a drain system and we got to have one soon. I wish you guys would realize that. You guys all admitted to my face that without that punch in that irrigation ditch, we would have been up to our necks. You guys all admitted that. We have to have something going. We have no guarantee when this water is going to come through or how much. And it could be worse than last year if we don't have a breach of some kind or some kind of drain system. This is extremely important. I would expect you guys to take all of us seriously down there because we've been through one flood already. We don't need another one that's of any magnitude. Please listen. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you for your comments. Yes, I have visited with those people.
Did you make a deal? Did you offer them anything? Money?
Money? You don't happen to have a couple $100,000 lying around?
It has to be done some way. Either we have a drain system there or we have another place.
Well, we have to have the money though.
We have to have the money, but
You can't
it
offer
has to.
something he doesn't have.
Yeah.
I know that, but if you make a deal with it, you can get funding from somewhere. You could use some of that FEMA money for it, I would suggest.
No,
Okay.
money.
I think a better idea would be to work with them and see if we can't get the ditch in a pipe, underground pipe, and eliminate that bank there. Then you wouldn't have to breach anything. It would all just naturally flow that way.
That would be a good idea.
You know, but there again, you gotta have the money.
Gotta have the money to do it.
And you
And
gotta
that's
have-
something, we can look at.
Well, yeah, but I would think that'd be a lot easier than coming up with, money that doesn't exist.
How close was it to flooding the sewer lagoons though when you guys did that?
How close to?
Yeah,
2
how,
feet probably?
Well, it was
Wasn't
within 6 inches of going over
Was
the,
it 6 inches?
so if we're looking at draining it that way towards our sewer lagoon, then don't we compromise our sewer lagoons all over again?
We could.
that's possible. It's,
But that's
Yeah,
there's a
the
lot
answer
of things to look
make a
at
channel
when you
from
start.
There's
out.
no
one spot
easy
there and
answer.
go
I
around
mean,
it.
when somebody
Yeah,
comes in with an
so
easy
long as
answer,
it goes
you better-
around, but
Right,
Yeah,
we're one of the only ones that didn't
Better look
compromise ours.
twice.
right.
Okay. Thank you.
May I ask a
Anything
question?
else? Yes.
Hi, I'm gonna sit. I live on Carbon Avenue,
Okay.
in the trailer park down here. And on the other side of the trailer park, there is a road that goes straight through and out onto the freeway. And there is no sign there, coming or going, that says that there is a turn there. And there's been so many times I've almost been asked into trying to pull in. when you come into Fromberg, you turn off this little road right here that has
There's no
and
indication.
it goes right into that trailer park right here. Over here.
Yep.
Over here.
Way on the
Yeah.
outside?
At the
Yeah.
Y?
Yeah, so there's no,
So you
no,
wanna turn right here, coming into.
In the back of the trailer park, as you go down, is that Carbon Avenue or is that?
so she's
Montana?
talking about this one right here that leads straight out to the highway, and what she's saying is as you're coming into town, there's no denotion that there's a turn that way, so as you're slowing down, because the speed limit hasn't quite hit 45, people are coming in so fast that there's,
Yeah, we
They
almost
have it.
got killed one day.
What kind of sign would they put up?
it's
Just an orange yellow sign that says maybe turn or something.
that there's a
Or
side
that
road
there's
going
a side
off.
road that you're turning.
It's
It's
just
turning
a,
onto the road right here?
It's, yeah, you've gotta pull out into the freeway.
yeah,
Yes, I did
Yeah.
talk to you about it before.
it turns out into the highway.
Yellow
highway.
Y sign or something?
We may have signs in the shop that all we need to do is put up.
Well, that would be great, because it's very scary coming pulling off the freeway into the trailer park from that
That's
side road.
That's it.
We don't have anything?
That's the state.
Yeah, the
that's
highway
how-
department
that's
says
all
no.
state. Darren will take it and throw it away like I was telling you about.
Yeah.
Okay.
And there is a sign.
So that's
I
up to
can
the
talk
state to
them
do,
about
however,
something that says
we will
Montana.
talk to them and see
I
if
would
that's
appreciate that, that would be nice. Not just for me, but everybody.
Yeah, no, if it's.
We
if
use
it's-
that road a lot.
If it's something that needs to be done, we can deal with it.
Somebody's gonna get killed if it doesn't.
They should put a
Yeah.
turning lane.
At least say turning lane, or just have a flashing
I
light.
guess
that
I don't
says
know
something.
whether there's
That's
been
a
an
good idea,
accident
'cause
out
I use
there
that
in the
term.
last
So-
10 years or not.
Well, they see
It-
the red
it
flashing light in the
really
middle of town.
scared her. We were
So
coming
they
home
don't
on
look
bad
for anybody
roads,
else
and
to
I was turning, and the
go
semi
that way,
truck
yeah.
ended up in the ditch because it
Okay.
did not see that I was
Yeah.
turning and didn't have enough time, so they went straight off, going around. And that happened 3 months ago.
Yeah, it's kind of scary, and we
Yeah.
use that road all the time, so.
Okay.
Just a thought.
No? Lacey?
So I guess we
jump it
better
down and
find out who we need to talk to see if we can get a sign.
Yeah.
We tried
Sign
to
or-
get a sign, but maybe if they're talking to the mayor, it might go more.
Or move the speed limit up
Yeah.
sooner, so then you have to slow down before you hit that.
That's true.
Yeah, cause I think the 45 starts just about the Y, doesn't start
Before that.
before that. And so that,
They're not aware of the danger.
yeah, they're not aware of,
Okay. Yeah, Lacey, remind me so I can make that call. Okay. Thank you.
I have something real quick. You touched on sandbags
Yes.
and, if there's, I have a question, is there going to be enough and have you,
We have a pallet of sandbags over there that's about 7 feet tall.
okay, well,
That may not be enough.
We have 5 pallets of sandbags.
We have 5 pallets of
We
sandbags.
have 7
Okay.
sandbag fillers.
What was the full question?
okay, my deal is maybe if you would ask or send out a deal for people, I mean, I'd be more than willing to measure my place, and I know what other people would, to approximate how many sandbags you would need to sandbag your